How we doing? How we doing? Happy Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Yesterday, man, I thought yesterday was looking good for us college basketball. And then, of course, we got let down by Auburn. Can't believe Auburn lost at home in that spot. I mean, Florida's very, very good, but that was surprising. And then Texas Tech, I mean, they were right in the game and kind of choked at the end. That was unfortunate. They shot terribly for the first 14 minutes of the game, which didn't help their case. But yeah, let's try and make it back today on the Super Bowl. If you guys are just tuning in here, my blog is up, rollinginsights.com. If you want my full game preview, I also have another blog up there with some interesting stats to know for the Super Bowl in general. Let me know in the chat. Jim, good morning. Let me know in the chat how you guys are doing. Let me know kind of what your thoughts are on the Super Bowl. If you have a play of the day favorite bet for me to discuss, drop that in the chat as well. Mitchell, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Drop those in there. We're going to talk through the game. I'm going to tweet out my full card, but I pretty much, this is a different style card for me for the Super Bowl. Typically in years past, I don't know. It's just it's a different type of card for me, I think. It's very heavy on one player, which if you guys have watched this, I'm sure you kind of know who that is. Keaton, yeah, me too, man. Just really unfortunate from Scotty Scheffler. I thought he would do better, but I don't know. Mitchell, Smitty, and Goddard, 40 each. I like that. I like that a lot. I also like, I was talking to Matt. If you guys have watched the streams before, I have Matt on sometimes. He was talking about maybe doing a Kelsey and Goddard same game parlay, something around that, Mitchell, like 40 yards each, maybe 4 catches each, something around that, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, Keaton, unfortunate from Scotty, man. I mean, he still could come back today. It's pretty unlikely, but there's still a chance. Like if Dietrich just kind of falls apart and he goes low, I mean, he could kind of get up there maybe. I don't know. It's unlikely, but unfortunate. Guru said, you see everyone all over Hopkins. Yeah, so just for everyone out there that's betting DeAndre Hopkins, do what you want. I can't do it because he hasn't been on the field enough. And if he hasn't been on the field in these games, like these close playoff games, I don't really see why they'd randomly start putting him on the field in the Super Bowl. That's my thoughts there. But for anyone that bet it, my uncle I've talked about him on the stream before. He's not online. He's not on social media. He's as square as you can come in terms of it's all just like his public perception of the games. I would consider him a pretty square bettor. He told me last night his favorite bet is DeAndre Hopkins for 2 catches. So for anyone that took that, I wouldn't feel very good about it because if that's his favorite bet, it's looking not good for you guys. I was trying to tell him, like, again, he argues with me all the time, but I was like, he's just not on the field enough for me to want to bet that. But me personally, I'd bet Juju over Hopkins. I tried to get him to take a bet with me. I told him I'd bet him Juju versus Hopkins straight up receiving yards in this game. He of course wouldn't take it. So I don't know. He came at me with this fade the uncle, Mitchell, exactly. He came at me with this conviction about DeAndre Hopkins, and then he wouldn't take my bet. I said I'd take Juju over him straight up in this game. So if you guys are doing something like that, I would prefer to bet on Juju personally. Maybe Hopkins comes out and they do use him. I don't know. I don't see why they wouldn't use him in these close games, right? And then they would use him in the Super Bowl. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think they're pretty fine rolling with Worthy as like their top playmaker. They have Hollywood Brown. And yeah, Juju could mix in for a long catch, man. I mean, he's on the field more than Hopkins, or at least he has been in these playoff games. So I will be avoiding the Hopkins props personally. Jimmy, like Mahomes over 5.5 rush attempts and Philly for the first half. I like Philly first half for sure. Mahomes rush attempts I like, but I feel like personally they're baking in the kneel downs into that line. So if you get a situation where they're not winning at the end, like that could cost you 2 rush attempts right there, right? So you would need him to hit 6 without hitting him to hit 6 rush attempts without kneel downs. I don't know if I could bet on that. So I'm probably going to avoid that one. He did have like 3 design runs against Buffalo though, so maybe he could hit that. Yeah, DFS thoughts. I'm going to be playing 3 teams today, both sites. I'll probably do a Barkley captain, and then I'll probably do a Hurts captain. And then for the third one, I'll see kind of what else I like. But I'll probably do 1 Barkley, 1 Hurts for the captain spot. And then I'll kind of see what else I like for my third team. That's kind of my overall strategy. I think it's a good spot for Barkley. I've talked about this all week on stream. Like Kansas City's weak point of their defense has been their run defense. They have struggled when they've played actual good running teams, right? Like they've played bad teams that can't run the ball, and so that kind of pads their stats a little bit. When you dig in and you look at the teams they've played that are actual good running teams, they have struggled. They struggled against James Cook last week. If Buffalo ran the ball more, I think they could have won the game. So I'm going to be curious to see what Spagnuolo kind of has come up with over the last 2 weeks to try and stop Saquon Barkley, because it's interesting to me that the point of attack for KC's defense is the run defense, and that's the point of emphasis for Philly's offense. So I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup. I also think the turnovers is going to be an interesting matchup because Kansas City is very good at not turning it over. Philly is the best team in the NFL at forcing turnovers. We talked about that going into the Washington game. I said Philly's the best in the league at forcing turnovers, and Washington had not turned the ball over in their first couple playoff games against Detroit and against Tampa. So, and that was the difference. I mean, Philly forced a bunch of turnovers in that game. So I'll be curious to see what happens. I think that'll be a big storyline of the game. If Philly can turn the Chiefs over two or 3 times, I think they'll probably win, because Jalen Hurts has been very good at not taking care of the ball and, not turning it over this season. Yes, Jim, I will play NBA today as well. Yeah. I'm going 4-1 to be different. I like that. Issues with awards. I didn't have issues with the awards per se. I think that having criteria for like comeback player of the year, I think is stupid. Like, I just don't understand it. I understand that they said all year Sam Darnold couldn't win that award because of their criteria. I have a problem with the criteria because why should Sam Darnold not be eligible for that award? Like, yeah, he wasn't coming back from an injury, but you can't tell me he didn't come back. Like, people thought his NFL career was over, and he just took a team to the playoffs, and he's going to get a big contract now. Like, that is, in essence, a comeback player. So I don't like the whole criteria thing. I think they should do away with that, personally. As far as Josh Allen winning MVP, I'm fine with that. I thought it was him and Lamar, but they kind of split it because they gave Lamar all pro and then they gave Josh Allen MVP. No problems with that. No problems with Coach of the Year. I thought Kevin O'Connell was the rightful winner of that. So didn't Flacco win without? Yeah, exactly, Ryan. And I think that's kind of what spurred the addition of the criteria, because everyone wanted DeMar Hamlin to win it coming back from injury, but they gave it to Flacco. So I feel like they put that criteria in this year to protect the players coming back from injury, but it's not a true comeback player of the year award if you're removing people to be eligible. I don't know. I think that's stupid. Like, I don't have a problem with Burrow winning it, but I don't know why Sam Darnold isn't eligible. That doesn't make any sense. And I thought it was interesting how the sportsbooks handled that, because they still had Sam Darnold as the favorite. Like, They made that announcement early on in the season. I think it was around like October. They said Sam Darnold's not going to be eligible to win this award, but the book still had him as the favorite for like up until like week 8. Like it was late in the season. He was still favored. I couldn't bet. Ohio, I think, removed it. I had a Sam Darnold bet from like July. This was like before that announcement came out that he couldn't win it. But I think Ohio removed it once they made that kind of proclamation that he couldn't win it, because I couldn't go in and bet anyone else. I wanted to go in and bet other people because he was like 20-1 when I bet him. So I wanted to hedge that, but I never found odds again to be able to do that. Hashtag fade the uncle might be the bet of the day. Yeah, I might just start that hashtag regularly, Jim, and we'll just I'll just start tweeting, or maybe I'll just make a video every day. I'll get his thoughts and we'll just fade him because he does make some idiotic bets, I think. Cowboys should win an award. I agree. It's like them and the Saints. I don't know. A couple disaster franchises. Eagles win first half, Chiefs win the game. I don't hate that, Mitchell. I saw someone, I think it was someone from Action Network, I can't remember. They tweeted, "Can I bet on the Eagles for the first 58 minutes?" I thought that was funny. I would lean under, I think, Mitchell, too. I'm not going to take a bet on the side. All right, we can kind of dive in a little bit. So you guys know I'm really high on Devonta Smith in this spot. So he's my touchdown pick. I'm going to take him first touchdown, anytime touchdown. My highest unit play is going to be on his over longest reception here at 20.5. I'm going to take him on DraftKings. You can bet like most receiving yards for this game. He's plus 600. I'm going to take Devonta Smith for that. It's just a really good spot for him. So obviously he's very good receiver. AJ Brown is going to command the majority of the attention from Kansas City's secondary. So we're probably going to get, and KC plays pretty man-heavy coverage anyways. We're going to see a lot of man for Devonta Smith, I think. And that's good for him because he's an elite route runner. He's elite at getting separation. And that's held up anytime he's played Kansas City. I've written this and talked about it all week. He's gone for 99, 100, and 122 yards in those 3 games against Kansas City in his career. All of those obviously were coached by Steve Spagnuolo defensively for Kansas City. So it's a really good matchup for him. He should see a lot of time in the slot, which is good as well for him. That's where you can beat KC. So I think it's a really, really good spot for him, especially, like I said, because I think we're going to see a lot of one-on-one coverage for him. And even if KC goes and they flips from man to zone, which would be the smart thing to do because Jalen Hurts is much better against man coverage than zone coverage. So even if they come out and they flip it to zone, Devonta Smith has above average splits, against zone coverage as well. So it's just a really good spot for him. I'm going to be pretty aggressive on betting him today, kind of taking my stand on him. And that's where a lot of my action is going to go. Over longest reception, first touchdown, anytime touchdown, most receiving yards in the game. And I wrote it this week in my tweet, but he does have long receptions against KC in those 3 games of 35, 41, and 45, I think. So, yeah, he should. I'm hoping it's early in the game and they just rip a little play action and find him deep down the field. That would be ideal, I think. Real quick, how big? It hurts him a lot, Guru. Yeah, that's I mean, I know we're talking Super Bowl, but to answer your question, yeah, the Lakers went from like the second best team. Like the Lakers could have competed for the West, in my opinion, with a healthy Mark Williams. Now they just don't have a big man, and I don't really know where they can get one. So, yeah, that hurts him a lot, in my opinion. We need to add fade the uncle to every parlay. Yeah, Saquon birthday narrative. Cooper DeJean, it's his birthday too as well. Yeah, buyout candidates, that's all they have. I don't really know. I haven't looked into what centers are gonna get bought out, but none of them are gonna be, these, like, kind of athletic young guys like Mark Williams. Like, Mark Williams' play style just fits so perfectly with these guys that are gonna dominate the ball in LeBron and Luka. I don't know if they can find someone like, if they find someone in the buyout market, it's gonna be a more kinda traditional big man. They still need one, but it's just not gonna fit as well with the team construction. I feel like that hurts them quite a bit. It kinda screws them over because they can't go make another trade, it's past. All right, other stuff I like. I took this earlier in the week. It's super juicy now, though. This Noah Gray under 1.5 receptions. So I probably wouldn't bet it now unless you parlay it with something. He has not been on the field a lot, very similar to DeAndre Hopkins. When Hollywood Brown came back, they stopped running 12 personnel. So he's actually ran a route on just, I think, under 15% of Mahomes dropbacks since Hollywood Brown came back. He's just not on the field a lot. So I like the under 1.5 there. I wouldn't play it at this juice, though. You'd have to parlay that with something or just avoid it. I kind of like Saquon receiving yards. Where's that at here? Oh, right here. It's 13.5. I took it at 12.5. He really hasn't been hitting that number consistently, but you would feel like if Philly gets down in this game, they'll have to use him as a receiver. He'll be on the field more than usual in 2-minute and hurry up stuff, I think. So I was kind of interested in that. I don't know if I'd take it at 13.5 though. Yeah, he is sneaky, I think. Yeah. I kind of like Juju, to be honest. I haven't built my teams yet, but Juju is interesting. I feel like for like a cheap DFS play, I would be interested there. I also like, I'm going to bet Octopus. So if you guys don't know what that is, it's like a player to score and then the same player that scored also make the 2-point conversion. So they scored 8 points. Jalen Hurts did it in the last Super Bowl against the Chiefs. He scored a tush push and then he scored the 2-point conversion. So it's like 11 or 12 to 1 odds on that. I like that for like a fun one. I always like to bet missed extra point in the Super Bowl, but I couldn't find it this year. If anyone can find that, let me know or like tweet at me. I looked on DraftKings. Usually DraftKings has that stuff for me. FanDuel, I didn't see it here. Right here. Player to record an Oh, you can bet on the individual player. I'm not doing that, but you can just bet for any player to do it. It's like 11 to 1. I don't see the missed extra point one, though. So I don't know if someone can find that. I guess tweet at me later. Successful 2-point conversion plus 180. I don't hate that, to be quite honest. That looks kind of good to me. I might add that. Where can we find the octopus? I don't see it on FanDuel. DraftKings is where I took it. Let me double check this. I'll put it up on my app. Go to, let's see here. It's probably under like game specials or something. Game props. Yeah, it's under game props. So go into the Super Bowl game on DraftKings, go to game props next to quarters, and then will there be an octopus? Yes, plus 1,100. I'm going to add this successful 2-point conversion. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. Have a good day. Nick Sirianni gets extended, win or lose. I think so, Guru. It's pretty crazy. Like, look, I'm not the biggest Nick Sirianni fan, but he's clearly a good coach. I mean, he has a loaded team, so he should win. But I mean, he does win. I can't deny that. He's been one of the most winning coaches in the NFL the last 10 years. So I'm not a big fan of his, but last year, even though he had won so much, it was just kind of the whole aura about the team was off with how they ended. Like, they started off hot, and then they ended the season so bad. They get blown out in the playoffs. I still don't know what was going, like, I don't know if we ever got a resolution of that. Like, what was going on with the team last year? Because it's all like the same guys. I don't know if it was like something on the defense with like the coordinator or something, because they brought in new coordinators. Maybe that fixed it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he was kind of like on the hot seat after last year, just with how the team ended. But then they come out this year and they've been great, back in the Super Bowl. I do think 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. He's made the playoffs every year as a coach. I think he gets extended, win or lose, yes. But chat, if you're in the chat, who do you guys think is going to win straight up? Because I haven't really commented on this, I don't think, today. I think the Eagles are going to win. I don't know why. Kind of if we flash back to 2 weeks ago when the conference championships ended, you guys know I bet on KC against Buffalo. You know, I don't fade Patrick Mahomes really ever in the playoffs. I don't do it. I make fun of people usually on Twitter, like my friends, like last year when like Sandy was betting against Mahomes, I was laughing at him. You know, typically I make fun of people that bet against Mahomes in the playoffs. I actually think the Eagles are going to win this game. So I'll probably be wrong. I'm sure Mahomes will bury me. I'm loyal to him, so if he does bury me, I'll expect it. But I'm going to build a same game parlay on here that we're going to put in with it includes the Eagles to win the game. DK Showdown 5-1 Eagles with Kelsey. I don't hate that, Ryan. I like that a lot, actually. I think Kelsey should be ready to go here with the weeks off. He looked great against Houston after those 2 weeks off. He did not look good against Buffalo, but he had another 2 weeks off to rest. He should be ready to go here, and he'll look like Travis Kelsey. So I think he's going to have a big game. And no Nakobe Dean. I know Sharp Football Analysis was on that. Nakobe Dean being out is big for Travis Kelsey's individual matchup. So I think Kelsey will have a big game here for sure. He should just be healthy, which is half the battle for him at this point. But I like building these game script, same game parlays for this game. So if you think KC is going to win, maybe look at, build some same game parlays with some receiving props, because under that assumption, Philly would have to throw. If you think Philly's going to win, build some same game parlays with Kansas City throwing, because under that assumption, they would have to throw. So the one I want to do, from the surface, this sounds simple to me. Like it's almost 10-1 odds. It seems like a simple parlay though. So I'm going to show you guys. And I already put this in. I played this for 1 unit to win 10 units. We're going to take Eagles to win the game. Assuming the Eagles win the game, they're going to obviously score some touchdowns. We're going to take Jalen Hurts for 2 tush-push TDs. Eagles money line, Hurts, 2 tush-push TDs. On the opposite side, very simple. Mahomes, 200 passing yards. Travis Kelsey, 25 receiving yards. It's plus 975. 1 unit to win almost 10 units. Does this not feel like a simple parlay? If the Eagles win, it's very likely that Jalen Hurts can get you 2 tush-push TDs. Like, yeah, you have to kind of combat Barkley, but the Eagles, they love to get tackled at the 1 and punch it in with Jalen Hurts. So I don't think it's unlikely. And you could do it with Barkley 2 TDs if you want to do that. It's going to pay a little bit less. But I already put this in for a unit. It's going to be on my card. Eagles money line, Hurts, 2 tush pushes, Mahomes 200, Kelsey 25. Clean, simple, 1 unit to win 10 units. I like it. I think in any other sports, you can get tired of the same team making it every year, but I don't get that feeling. I agree, Guru. I don't really know why people hate the Chiefs so much. I don't have any problem with him. I think Mahomes is extremely likable. I've loved him. I've loved him since he was at Texas Tech, but I mean, you guys can go find my tweet that I tweeted 8 years ago at this point, whenever it was, when he made his first NFL start, week 18 against the Denver Broncos. I was confident from that moment he was going to be an absolute star. Now, I wasn't expecting him to win 3 Super Bowls already and all that, but I think he's likable. I don't know why people hate him so much. I know they get mad about the refs, but like he has no control over this. Like the refs just call the game. I don't understand, why people get mad about that. So yeah, I don't have a problem with them making it back every year. I just think that I don't know why I have this feeling the Eagles win. They're so much better top to bottom roster wise, but that doesn't really matter when you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. If it's a close game in the fourth quarter, like if there's 5 minutes left and it's tied, I'm going to assume Kansas City's going to win the game. And that's just how it goes. If you guys have any other props you like, let me know. I'm going to I'll tweet my full card out after I end the stream. And if you guys want more content from me, I will be on the playerprops.ai live stream. So go check them out on YouTube. 3 p.m. Eastern, I'll be live over there, and we'll be building some parlays and all that fun stuff at 3 o'clock Eastern time. So you get another stream from me today. But full card will be tweeted out. I want to do a golf parlay, but it's like, oh my God. It's like, how does Dietrich not win? He's so far ahead. He is like a choker, but he's like 5 strokes up, right? I would love to see Spieth come and win this thing. That would be awesome. If we did like Spieth and a touchdown score or something. Let me remove this parlay here. I don't know. I'll think about it. It's like I just want something I want to root against Dietrich today, so I don't know. I might do something. I probably won't give it out though, just for fun. Overall, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, my blog's up on rollinginsights.com if you want to go read it. I will be live 3 p.m. Eastern over on the playerprops.ai YouTube channel. Go check that out. We'll be building some parlays. Good luck today. Full card will be tweeted out. Go show some love on my tweet. When I tweet out my card, please, I would appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Good luck. And I'll be live tomorrow to recap everything. Hopefully we make some money.